I talked to a lot of NBA people that are tired of all the analytics people in their department. You know, it seems like that's where it's changed. And as somebody will tell me, it's just another tool. But you can only have so many tools, you know, in your chest. I mean, if you have a tool for everything that could happen to you in your tool chest, it's going to weigh enough that you're going to have to take it around with a Mack truck. And so what you try to do is you have enough tools in there that'll help you, but not confuse you. And, you know, I mean, I can look at the same analytics that say it's just as good to shoot 50% from the two as it is 33% from the three. You know, God bless them. But I was really looking at something or talking about something a little different. It's not just the analytics. It's you can't analyze a heart. You can't analyze toughness. You can't analyze what you see in a guy's eyes when he comes out there in a game, and whether it's in a huddle. Are you nervous now? Are you not nervous? I mean, I guess those are more what I was talking about than the exact numbers. But that's why I shouldn't say anything, because everybody takes it their way. My way is, give me a tough guy who can play over an analytics guy, if that makes any sense. You're welcome.
Tom, you look at the chart right here. Their perimeter, obviously big and athletic. How do your guys find success, you know, in those types of
Well,
matchups?
that's probably our number one issue, is their perimeter is big. I mean, Rogers at 6'6", 6'7". Domas gets 6'6", 6'7". The other shooter is 6'6", you know, 6'7". And then, of course, Hawkins is 6'10", and Courier is. So they've got size over us. They rebound the ball pretty well, though in the conference they're -2. Go figure, you know, they're +8. That's where analytics, I mean, they just, numbers don't always answer things. The last game we shot 48 and 47. We'd win 90% of those games, you know, and there's other things maybe we didn't do as well. So how do we do that? Well, I think we got to get our running game going. I think we got to take advantage of that. We think we got to get more movement in our offense, although the offensive stats were pretty good. Defensively, we're working on a lot of things. I'll just say that we're working on a lot of different things to try to do a better job with smaller guards, and that has been a little bit of a challenge. You know, I said it's one of the places we miss Jeremy, even though he's not physically tall, he's physically strong, and he gives us something in there where people can't just back you down. They're playing a little more bully ball, as I call it, you know, where they're just backing you down. And so there's some things we're going to do to try to combat that.
Yeah, Mark, you touched a lot on the situation with Terrence Shannon, but from you guys as a staff and for the team, when you have to prepare for with or without a player of that kind of magnitude, what are the biggest challenges?
Yeah, I mean, it's a major challenge, especially in a shortened period of time. I mean, they've had since Friday. You know, we have since Sunday. I mean, that's another issue that's getting a little dicey on these TV games. I mean, we always wanted 2 days prep, but we don't ever look at how many days the opponent gets. And when opponents are getting 2 and 3 more days, they can, you know, so we're trying to look at this. Whether he plays or not, we think there's going to be a lot of changes for them because they've had a chance to now spend 5 days, and especially a weekend where you can get 2 days in or something. They don't have school this week, so we think there's going to be a lot of changes. How do you play for Shannon? You know, he's one of the great players in our league. Maybe he was having an MVP league experience the way he was playing. You know, I think something will be determined by tomorrow. So, hell, we'll have a whole day to make those changes. That is difficult, especially since, you know, yeah, they're playing without him, but, I mean, he's played with them for 2 years, so it's not like it's going to be a major difference for them as far as fitting him in. It's an easy piece to fit in. I don't know any of the circumstances on what happened or what's been going on. I just think it's sad. I feel for Brad. I've been through some of those things. It's never good. But I swear to God, I hope for Brad, for their program, for the kid, it works out the way it's supposed to work out, because it's a tough situation.
Tom, you seem to be rolling there for 5 or 6 games until that clinker on Sunday night. So where's your team mentally right now?
They're fine. I mean, this is college basketball, I mean, we were rolling. We were playing good. Some of it's the competition you play, and some of it is not even the competition. It's the matchup or when you play them. They just come off a 30-point loss. I give Chris a lot of credit. He did a hell of a job getting them ready. They played at a level, and they shot the ball at a level that I haven't seen. Some of it was our defense. Some of them, they had to make shots. And I was just watching our game from Illinois last year. We led the whole game. Last 5 minutes, they went on a little bit of a stretch, and, it was not a 9-point game. It was, hell, we led by 9 with, I think, 10 minutes left. And we went 0 for 7 from the 3, and I mean, had wide open looks. I've made the statement, that is the negative of basketball. It's like hockey, if you got a hot goalie and you pepper them, football, usually the bigger, stronger team wins. And that's what if you don't make threes, if you do make threes, if you don't make shots, you do make shots, you don't make free throws, you do make free throws, things change. But mentally, we're fine. We lost the game, and it's easier to go back and say, listen, we played good even in some losses. We played very good. And this game, I didn't think we did. I mean, I didn't say this after the Arizona game. I did not like the way we played. So that was whatever you called it. What did you call it? I think I called it a clinker. That's a good word. My word would be a lot shorter and probably a lot more to the point. But I respect what you're saying, and I agree with you. But it's not, nobody's come back and said, we can't play. I mean, we got a good team. We're not a great team yet because we've had to overcome some things, and we haven't done a couple of things as well as I'd like to do them. But it's a good basketball team, and we can just as well go on another run. I mean, we're good enough to go on a run, and not an easy place to play and not an easy team to play, and they're playing very well. They lost to Purdue, but it ended up a pretty good game, and they've had some things to deal with. So that's the way it is.
The defense has sort of been your identity during that stretch, and even early in the season, you had some games where that was clearly going to be the calling card. The only 2 games where the other team has shot over 50% is the 2 true road games, and I'm wondering if there is any common denominator there, and whether
you asked me that. I think in the press conference. God, I really don't think so. I don't think it should be with veteran guys, especially. I mean, I don't even look at that. That's probably another analytical thing. I don't even look at that. Everybody knows you're going to play better at home than on the road. I mean, that's been that way since the gladiators fought each other. So that hasn't changed. But I don't think, and of all things, what's the line you've heard for 100 years from 100 different coaches? Defense travels. Offense doesn't travel. Defense travels. So I don't think it was that. I just don't think we did a good enough job. It was like once, we got off to a pretty good start. We were down 30 to 28 or 32-28. And Tyson missed the front end of a one-on-one. Cohen missed 2, and somebody else missed the front end. And I felt like it took the wind out of our sail. At the same time, they made a couple of threes, couple of good shots, couple of tough shots. And I just didn't think we handled it very well. And that's disappointing because, I don't know, I heard it was John Beeline that said it, you play with freshmen, you win with upperclassmen. We have enough upperclassmen that you hope that wouldn't happen. So those guys got challenged a little bit.
secondly, AJ even, I think, played pretty well, and he's had a stretch now, even dating back before the win streak. And after the game, he talked about the sequence where he had a rebound, an and one, and then forced a steal, but then turned it over, and they got a 3 out of it. And he just said that changed the game. His recognition of those sort of moments is that different than it was in years past?
Let's go out on a limb here, since I'm in a good mood. You always got to be careful who you give credit to, who you insult. I mean, there's kids you can't insult because a lot of them now because of your profession. There's kids that you can hammer on all day long. AJ's been one of them, and a lot of times deserving of it. But I hope that I pride myself on one thing. I try to figure out who I can give more credit to, who needs more credit, who I can't give more credit to because he isn't doing his job, so I can't be phony to the rest of the team. And then there's AJ. You never want to give a kid credit and then he takes his foot off the gas. But when you do it for 6, 7 games in a row, I've seen more in the last 4 games of that was my fault. Even sometimes when it wasn't, I had to tell him one time in the huddle, shut up, that wasn't your fault. Quit taking blame for somebody else. I've been waiting for that for three years. So I'm here to tell you that AJ has done everything I've asked him to do. Just about. I mean that, and he deserves a lot of credit for it. He withstood all the storms. This day and age where everybody could leave, I'll never forget Doug Wojcik saying to me, hey, he might be a problem. He's your problem, but he's also the guy that didn't leave. And you know what? That says a lot about AJ. So I'm here to tell you that if he starts going the other way again, I'm going to be so mad at you for making me answer that question. But I am also happy that you made me answer it because he deserves the credit when he's done it now over a stretch of time. And I sent him a text the other day. I'm proud of that. You know, the play was we were down, I think 5. He gets the steal and he just throws it up. Or we're down 7 and he throws it. Not only don't we get the layup because the guy touched it, but they hit a 3, and then they came back on another steal, hit another 3. And so it went from potentially being 5 down to being 13 down in like 40 seconds. And the second turnover wasn't his fault. But whoever thought, you know, he more or less took the blame. You know, I had taken some of the blame because it's my job to have him more ready than that. But that is a monstrous step for AJ. And if he can keep that up, he has been playing very consistent. Tyson has been playing very consistent. The only issue is I need him to get his defense back to where it was. And we all know, listen, Malik had 3 out of 4 games that were almost record-setting for him. He had 22, he had 18, he had 24 in 3 out of 4 games. And, I mean, wasn't ready for that. I mean, some of it's got to be our fault for not getting him the ball. He didn't get many shots. Some of it's got to be his fault. We've talked about it. But the AJ thing, I'm proud of AJ. I'm proud of what he's done. I'm proud of how he handled it. He deserves some of it. He deserves a lot of it. Okay, I'm tell you that right now. In my opinion, he deserved a lot of it. But it is something when a kid, in a day and age when most of these kids just flee if you say hello the wrong way, he stuck it out. So I think Wojcik's right about that, you know. He stuck it out, and you know what? Wouldn't it be cool if he has his greatest year and maybe he'll be the guy I'll be talking about for the next 5 years on, yeah, so-and-so could have left or so-and-so could have left and this guy did leave and look what happened to him. This guy left and he had success, great. But AJ's been a guy that I've been very pleased with lately. And even on that turnover, I hardly said a word to him because he was trying to make a play and it would have been a hell of a play and he just made the great steal. So He deserves the credit I just gave him. It's taken a long time for me to give it to him for a variety of reasons. But I said, when I'm right, I'm right. And when I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong. And I'm not wrong from what was going on, but he has had, I don't know if you remember, but it was, who did we beat at home? Indiana State, who else do we play? No, I think it was Penn State. And we had a pretty big lead, and I do like to take my players out. I don't believe in the other way, even though analytics says, the net says I should leave them in, right? I mean, we all know that. But I had taken AJ out with 5 or 6 minutes left, and one of my guys on my bench said, he's 2 points from his 6th or 7th double scoring thing. And I went down there and I said, you're 2 points short. He goes, I know. And I could tell that was something for him. I said, well, I'm going to put you back in, and you got about 2 minutes to get it, because I'm not going to do that to that coach. And I did, and we actually posted him up, and he got it. And that was my way of saying thank you to him.
Coach Izzo, just any thoughts that you'd like to share on Coach Dantonio's selection to the College Football Hall of
Yeah,
Fame? And his
that on a day where I don't feel as good, a Saturday before we left, Alan Heller came over and told me the news and said he was going to call Coach D and wanted me there, which I thought was really classy of Alan and really important to me. I was there the last 4 days when he was making his decision. I went over his house every night after practice or after a game, and it was a tough decision when he left. And, I've been, he's gone on some NCAA trips with us. I love Mark Dantonio. I mean, we came in together. I still think that it'll be two of the two guys that maybe gave this place the best 7 or 8 years in both sports, which doesn't happen all the time. And from 2008 or 9 to 2017 or 18, we went to 3 Final Fours. We took our team to the Final Four of football, which was down in Dallas. We took our team to Indianapolis. That was during the season as a team building thing. So he helped me have some great moments. He took a bunch of his players over to the Big Ten tournament when we beat Michigan and won it in Chicago. There was a bond there. There was a belief that the two sports would help each other. And, over myself by far, I mean, I think he's the highest character, classy guy that's maybe ever coached. And I think there's a lot of good, solid guys that have coached. But Mark is, he cared about the kids. He cared about the program. He just, I couldn't say enough good things about him, we all got caught up in a very tough situation there in those couple of years, and that grew our bond even closer too. So when I was on the phone with him, it was a tear-jerking moment, and I could tell for him and Becky it meant the world. And I know yesterday he spent the day calling all of the guys that helped him, Coach Nick, Coach Saban, his coaches that were his coordinators. I mean, it was just perfect Mark Dantonio. So I'm hoping that since KP is supposed to be the scheduling guru, that he will make sure on the 10th of December I'm off to try to fly out to Vegas and see that. That would be important to me. If it was to fly out and fly back. But the honor is greatly deserved, and I'm proud of him. I'm excited for him, and I think it's great for Michigan State. And I think it's great for coaches that coach with him, and even the coaches he coached for, Coach Tressel and Coach Saban. I think it's his first. I don't know if Nick's had another guy that's gotten in the Hall of Fame yet, but I think it's great for everybody. Thanks.
I kind of wanted to touch base with how Jackson felt coming out of that game and
Yeah,
kind
he
of what you
felt-
saw in those couple minutes and how you progress with him from here.
Yeah, he felt great. I mean, He had no injuries. Today he's going full go. You know, it's I warned you and I warn everybody, you know, there's again, maybe Beeline's smarter than me if he did say this. You usually win with your upperclassmen and you play with your freshmen and sophomores, and I think because we struggled early, you know, we knew Jackson could give us something, that because we weren't shooting the ball very well, couldn't make a shot. It's not our offense that's been a major problem now. Now it's flowed a little bit to our defense, has been a little bit more of a problem. So Jackson will come back. There's certain games that it'll be easier to play him in than others, especially at the beginning, but you don't miss 2 months and just come back. And so it's going to be a process. I'm excited to have him back. What he is he's a guy that's been in there watching film for 2 weeks, and he wasn't even playing in some of the games. He knew he wasn't going to play. He is a basketball junkie, kind of a version of Jaden Akins, you know, where he just lives, eats, and sleeps it. And I think that is really important, is really needed. But I'm only guarding because when you lose a game or when you're not shooting the ball well, everybody looks for somebody else instead of the people that are there to do their job better. We're looking for someone else. Hey, if he wouldn't have been hurt, who knows where he'd be right now? Could be starting, could be this, could be that. But I don't have control over that either, you know. And he's not a fourth-year guy like Mateen Cleaves, who came back and played half the game the first game, a little more the next game. But we did keep him out an extra 2 weeks too. So some of this is, when we were going to bring him back before Christmas, and then he kind of, I guess, sort of re-injured it. It didn't re-break it. It just kind of re-injured it. Then you're a little skeptical as a coach too, because you don't want to bring him back early. So I'd say to the people out there that that are probably asking the same questions as the other questions they ask about other people, Book or anybody else, patience would be a great thing. I want him to be ready to go as fast as he can go to where we work him in. That'll be our choice, and depending the situations and depending who we're playing has got a big part of it too. So we're excited. He's back full go today. I mean, he'll practice the whole practice, I think, and that's going to be a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to it. Anything else real quick? Sorry, but I got a lot to do today, and it's not avoiding you. So if you got another one, I'll take it quick. But if not, I'll see you in a while. All right? Bye.